Joining me now is a guy who has a big presence in the world of sports memorabilia. He's the CEO and founder of Vintage Sportscard Club, and we are excited to have him on today. ONNJ Chiavelli, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. Very excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. So let me start by asking, how did you get started as a memorabilia dealer, and how long have you been doing this for?
It's now over 40 years, and it started off at, as a kid back in the 70s, and I was collecting actually tobacco cards in flea markets at 25 cents a piece before anybody knew what they were. So it was quite amazing. I had the cards of my era, and we were flipping back in the day. Used to flip to win the cards, but I love those little pictures, and I compiled a big collection early on.
That's fantastic. So now, what did you collect as a kid, and what were some of your most prized possessions growing up?
Yeah, like I said, in the flea markets, they used to have like silver pocket watches and silver spoons and all these little tobacco cards. So I was buying all those tobacco cards and buying like Ty Cobb for like 50 cents back then. So by the time I got into high school, I had a massive collection. I sold it and got my first car. It was wonderful. I bought a 72 Monte Carlo and had a show car out of it. And it was a wonderful, start off to a career of collecting.
And from childhood to now, what have been some of your greatest finds along the way?
I would say the greatest find would be that we were at Yankee Stadium and we had two guys come up, two young guys. They kept telling us they had two homes full of cards, two actual full homes full of cards. We finally went up. It was up in Albany. We drove 5, 6 hours up there, and they really did have two full houses, basements full of vintage, cards. It was an incredible find, and I will say there was two near finds that I had. One, a 90-year-old woman went into my friend's store, had a wooden suitcase full of tobacco cards. I thought it had the Wagner card, the $5 to $10 million card. Every time I was going through these tobacco cards, and there was one other card that looked just like the Wagner, and there was five of them in there, and we were ready to buy this collection. It was the most incredible find I think ever. There was 100 triple folder cards, tobacco cards that were in cellophane, never saw light, and were white as if they were printed yesterday. We offered her a lot of money at the time. She got on the phone. She called her brother. The brother said, "No, they're part mine. Don't sell them. Can't sell them." So we just missed that one. And then one other one I will say was 50 unopened boxes from the 1950s, probably today worth well over $1 million. We found the guy who had them. We chased him for 7 years. He gave it to his son. We chased the son. We offered the son a car. He wouldn't take it, and we just missed that one. But 7 years on the chase. That's part of the game. You're on the chase all the time.
And ONNJ, how were you able to build your passion into a company? Talk to me about how it all came to be.
I think I started, with getting onto eBay and started building a business there. I have like 12,000 perfect feedback since 2007, and then I formed relationships with JSA, Jimmy Spence, and some of the authentication people, and started to build it from there. And that led towards the Yankee Stadium story.
Now, you invented a device called the Inspector Scope that had a big impact on the world of sports memorabilia. How does that work, and how did you get the idea for it?
Yeah, basically, way before grading started, there were people from the art business that were used to restoring artwork. So they got into the card business and were restoring cards. So they were making old damaged cards look like they were newer. And the value was dramatic on some of those cards. So I went to, I bought some cards, went to a friend, John Brigandy, in the city. He had a coin and collectible store. And John turned off the lights. And while he was checking the cards, he was checking with a blue light. And I was like, wow, does anybody really know about this technique? Because it shows where the cards were touched or restored or colored. And John said, no, not many people know about it. So John gave me the idea, and I actually invented a portable, like almost a periscope with a plumbing supply, put in a blue light and a white light magnification, and it really could pick up creases you couldn't see. It could pick up restored cards. And once that went out, at one time the National Card Show had them at every single table. You'd see the inspector scopes everywhere. It basically helped to clean up the business, and the people who were trying to restore started to leave the business. And then that's where grading came in. They decided to take it further and encapsulate the cards and grade the cards. So that was the beginning before grading.
Now, we can tell you love the Yankees. You do a lot of work with the Yankees. Can you talk about your affiliation with them?
Yeah, in 2009, I went to the stadium and I was like really looking for the older memorabilia stuff, the history of the Yankees, and they were selling more of the current. And I was fortunate to get a hold of my friend Michael Aparo at Legends, and Legends really gave me a start there to bring in the history of the Yankees and cards and memorabilia. And really focused on beautiful cards. I went to the museum. We were right outside the Yankee Museum, and they built me a beautiful 40-foot show kiosk set up. And the Yankee collectors build shrines in their home. They love collecting. They buy, they love the cards, and we got to start there. And then it led to, them winning the World Series in 2009. I was able to get let's see if I can see it, the World Series ring as part of the organization, and then and we're still there today in the Yankee team store behind home plate, main team store selling baseball cards. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful thing. I've actually found myself after the games having a catch from the outfield wall with the players afterwards, and it's very surreal. I was with Andy Pettit with his son one time, and there's nobody in the stadium, and we're having a catch with his son. It was incredible experience being there since 2009.
It's a fantastic feeling to be able to do that. Now, as piggybacking off the Yankees, you also have a connection to Babe Ruth's family, one of the most prized figures in the world of sports memorabilia. Who in his family do you know?
Yeah, Linda Ruth, his granddaughter, was actually in the museum while I was at the kiosk, and the people came to me and said, "Hey, Linda wants to meet you." So Linda came over, and I had some beautiful newspapers of Babe Ruth hitting 60th home runs, and we started to form a relationship there. But I never forget that when she came there and she was just talking to me, and some of the little kids noticed it was Babe Ruth's granddaughter. They were like, "Hey, you're Babe Ruth's granddaughter. Can I get a sign for me?" And the next thing we looked, both me and Linda looked up, and the stadium was wrapped around the stadium. People waiting online. They left the seats. They left the game. Everything to meet Linda. So we started a relationship, and then I created a licorice company, Long Ball Licorice, where that we were looking for a replacement for chewing tobacco, which was banned. And I got the license from Linda and the family, and we started this company and sold licorice in 60 to 70 stadiums. And yeah, a lot of fun. She's a wonderful person. She has great stories of the Babe, and I was actually her guest at her auction when she sold some of the original Babe Ruth memorabilia in the Yankee Stadium. It was incredible. She's a great person.
Andre, last question. The way to reach an audience and clientele has changed since you first got into the industry. How helpful have resources like social media been for people like you?
Facebook has been a complete boom. There are collector sites on Facebook that have 20,000, 50,000 collectors, and they're specialized in that. There's a couple I like to mention. Nick Agnet's site, which is 1985 and older, vintage cards by Mark Fehrenbacher, 1860 to 1993. But those specialized sites have thousands of collectors, and they're looking to purchase all the time. It changed the whole game now. And then you got even, then you got also have Whatnot, which is coming on incredibly as live auctions, and they're going on all the time. We're going to be on there soon. We are one of the dominant people on the Facebook collector sites, and it's wonderful because there's a huge following, and it's just getting stronger and stronger. Cards, you saw Tom Brady, he bought his 5th card store now, and cards are on the front page of every news media every day. You see Google, it's cards, everything is about cards. So the industry's booming, and it's great to see that. It's a clean hobby. Kids love it. Now the kids, it's a funny thing I have to say, the kids come in now as businessmen. They're at the shows at 8 o'clock in the morning with a metal case. They're ready to negotiate, make trades, make deals. They're 12 years old, 13 years old. We were collectors. They come in as business people because they know they could buy and sell. It's interesting. But, overall, if you look at the history of cards, they've gone up more than stock markets and other investments. And the primetime collectibles is just skyrocketing. So it's been a great run, a great business, and it's just, really something nice to enjoy.
Andre Chiavelli, founder and CEO of Vintage Sports Card Club. Best of luck to you and your company, and thanks so much for coming on today.
Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate it. Say hello to Lisa. Thank you, Lisa.